everybody, and welcome to yet another League of Legends match. And this is going to be NIU Esports versus the Miami of Ohio Redhawks here. We are ready to go on the NIU side and on the Miami side, so we should be jumping into Champ Select very shortly for game number 1. And we should be seeing a nice matchup here. NIU going to start on the blue side, so we know that for a fact here. Going through the lineups, we are going to see a little bit of a substitution on the side of Miami. It seems as though they may have had a player that was unable to make it today. So they're going to be running the lineup of Final Boss of Ohio up in the top lane. Pee-wee-1's going to be in the jungle. Kugert's going to be in the mid lane. Shark Chili will be their ADC, and its Beans will be in for the support role here. And NIU, same lineup as always, except today we do have Gotcha Sucker 34 up in the top lane, so it is his regularly scheduled match within the six-man roster here. So joining me today, well, actually, we didn't even do introductions. I didn't do introductions, at least, but I'm Connor Vagel, as always, here to cast the game, and I'm going to be joined once again by Tim Bungalow Bill Schrammick. And Tim, welcome back to the broadcast. You missed a good one on Wednesday.
Yeah, it's sad. I always miss the Wednesday games, and I usually have to watch them. And I'm like, man, I wish I could be casting them because this is one of the favorite parts of my week is watching NIU play Rocket League. The games have been exciting so far. Last week was really great, and I'm hoping we have another great week of League of Legends to watch right here.
Well, I'm glad that you are excited to watch them play some League of Legends because you said that your favorite part of the week is watching them play Rocket League. So,
well, when we're in the season, it's fun. Well, okay, the matches are fun to watch, admittedly, but the matches are so much more exciting than practices, admittedly.
That's true. That's true. All right. But, yeah, looking at it here, we do see that Caitlyn and Rumble are going to be taken off the board. Once again, the Rumble taken off for B Chillin here. Always commanding that respect ban here in the mid lane of the Rumble. But Caitlyn going to be taken off the board, kind of pinching that ADC role you have to imagine early on. And then Fiora going to be taken away here by the side of NIU as well.
Yeah, we're gonna get that Sedge ban, which is a smart move. Every time we see Xanakin on Sedge, it's always nasty. I don't know how that honestly I don't know how Sedge gets through bans so often, honestly, in these games so far. So smart play by Miami to knock that one out, as NIU is gonna look for their third ban. It looks like we're banning out a little bit of top lane, a little bit of bot so far. I honestly would not be surprised if we see another top lane ban. I wonder if we're gonna try to play around it. And yeah, there we go. We get the Jax out.
Yeah, which makes me wonder if, I think typically I was going to say maybe you go for the Maokai here. You could also see something like a Cassante, but typically we've seen when IXI shots in the top lane, that's more of when we see the Cassante played here from NIU. So, I'm curious to see. They could go for something like the jungle here that's been pretty much the handshake first pick here, and Jarvan 4 would go ahead and be that jungler, so it is going to be the Jarvan picked up here by NIU.
Yeah, it's I think the first time I've seen us play Jarvan, so that's an interesting pick. From my understanding, Annie is available to play, and from what I hear, she is very strong right now, so I'm wondering if we're going to see an Annie pick here. I actually saw Bradley, our League of Legends coach, playing a little Annie support the other day in the arena.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen, so Annie has been very powerful. I think some teams thought that it was not available to pick, and it actually has been available the entire time. Aurelion Sol, on the other hand, this is the first matchup that we're going to be seeing him available to be picked up. I'm not sure if we will see him. It's been the rework not necessarily hitting the mark, and it is going to be Ari on the side of NIU to match up against that Elise and Varus. So we are going to see a little bit of a mismatched lanes here. Varus picked up as the ADC from the side of Miami, and then Elise to be the jungler. So very likely, unless NIU goes with the ADC here, you'd have to imagine that they're going to be going mismatched lanes and potentially having a little bit of draft priority difference here. So we'll see what B Chillin goes for, and it is going to be that ADC role. So typically you'll see the support picked up here from the side of Miami, but you have to wonder if maybe they'll try to make this make me eat my words and say that let's match up the mid lane picks. And it does look like that is going to be the case, as the Vigar could technically be the support still, but that's probably going to be something played towards the mid lane here.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised to see NIU pick up the Ari first. Obviously, Zanakin's Ari has been fantastic this whole season. But just usually you like to get a little bit of a later pick on the mid lane to see what we have. But I'm wondering if we're really playing around picking up a certain support. I'm not really sure. We're going to see a Janna ban coming out from Miami. It looks like Miami so far, they got a nice balance of kind of early and late game. You got that Veigar, who obviously infinitely scales, and then Elise, very strong early. She does kind of fall off. She's still dangerous later in the game if she gets ahead, but definitely an early game champion. So NIU's going to have to watch out for that one, especially for someone like Jhin, which B-Chillin has picked up, and his Jin's been fantastic to watch, but Jhin is very immobile, and Elise loves to just pounce on immobile people.
Absolutely, and I think one thing that is going to be interesting here is the fact that, like you mentioned, so far in the draft, you've got one early, one late game champion, and then you've got a Varus, and Varus can play a little bit of two different ways. You can play him on hit, you can play him crit, so we'll have to see which one the side of Miami elects to go for. It is going to be the Cassante banned away here by the side of Miami, so we won't see that as a counter pick in the top lane. Definitely some top lane pinch going on here, but maybe that means that you'll see a tank matchup, which I think NIU, excuse me, would always elect to go towards. It definitely gives you some protection for the Jhin as you pick it up here. Camille going to be the last pick here, or the last ban, sorry, and then it'll be the Nautilus by the side of Miami to give them a support here. Definitely gives them some engage here with the Varus. Some lockdown as well to land those arrows. So we'll have to see where NIU wants to go with it, and the Luck's going to be the hover here.
Yeah, interesting. It looks like we're going to try to poke out bot lane with that Varus and Nautilus with this Lux pick, assuming we're not just faking it right now, which NIU loves to throw me off whenever I think something's going to happen. They draft something else, and then, it always catches me off guard. And now at this point, I'm not really sure what NIU is looking for. You do have the J4 as a bit of a frontline and engage, but even with that, your team's still kind of squishy as NIU. Same thing for Miami, honestly. Both teams don't really have much of a front line, and then we might pick up a Gnar pick. Gnar is a very good frontliner, bit tanky, a little bit of damage. No, or Set, okay, very similar, honestly, pretty tanky. Probably a little more damage on Set, but maybe a little less CC. Not a bad pick, though, especially with that Elise. He's able to get on top of people. I think Set 1v1s most of Miami's team quite well so far, so I guess we're just going to see what Miami picks up now that they get last pick.
Yeah, and this is a little bit of the issue with I don't think the draft priority was necessarily, I don't think it was incorrect, but this is unfortunately being on blue side. What happens is you end up losing out on that potential counter pick at the end, and Renekton is going to be the counter here to the Set picked up to give Miami that little bit of advantage up on the top side. We'll have to see how they want to play that one out, as I think both of these teams have relatively strong drafts. I think there's definitely, as you mentioned, some poke ability here with the Jhin and Lux in the bot lane. Could potentially take the... Oh, yep, we don't have the Champ Select client. Thank you so much, Weenies, for mentioning that. There you go. We've described you in detail. So if you guys were listening on audio only mode for Twitch, then you got all of Champ Select, but unfortunately you couldn't see. And there you go. So now I know it'll be delayed, but you guys will see here, the aftermath of Champ Select. So my very absolute apologies on that one. As we and Shelly Bell as well. Thank you for the first time chat. But yeah, as I mentioned, unfortunate mistake there from the technical difficulties. But there it is. You guys do see where the draft went. You should have been able to hear where it went as well. But there you go. You see now those champions, just to confirm that we weren't lying to you the entire time. That we could have pulled a real fast one on you there, but we elected to not do so. But yeah, so overall, I think very interesting drafts from both of these teams.
Yeah, I think Miami is definitely slated a little bit early game with that Renekton and Elise. Both of them fall off. Honestly, they have solid, very good early games, pretty good mid games. But late game, I mean, Renekton gets kited and poked out too hard. Elise has trouble getting on people and doing enough damage. So I think Miami's definitely going to be looking probably to put a lot of pressure top lane with this Elise, is my guess, to get that Renekton ahead. And then they're going to have to push their lead pretty early. NIU's going to maybe have to just play a little safe, maybe take a little bit of a, just a little, take it easy for the first maybe 10, 15 minutes, and then, kind of group up and just start wearing down Miami as the game progresses. As long as they could stay in it, I think NIU definitely scales a little harder with this team comp.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I think this should be a very good matchup. But, well, we have about a minute and a half here. Let's go through just a little bit of business here. So, one thing that you guys in the chat will see is that for those of you that are subscribers to the NIU Esports Twitch channel, we've made a little bit of a change to the Twitch channel. It's been a heavily requested one over the course of the year. And that is, we have eliminated the Tier 2 and Tier 3 sub emotes and everything. So now, with any tier subscription, you will get access to all of the emotes, and yes, that includes the Doggers emote. So feel free, even if you're using your Twitch Prime emote, your Twitch Prime sub, use that here, and you will get access to all of your favorite emotes, like the Legacy logo, as well as the in your sights and the Doggers emote. So always a great one. Also, we mention it every time, but it is a very important event to us. We've got coming up here on March 22nd and 23rd. That's going to be a Wednesday and a Thursday. It's going to be Huskies United. That is an event across campus. It is going to be an awesome opportunity for you to support campus and donate to a bunch of different programs. NIU Esports is going to be represented. We'll be doing some streaming on Wednesday and Thursday, so keep your eye out for our announcement about what the streamathons will look like. But overall, feel free to go to dog.niu.edu. That's dog.niu.edu and /NIU Esports, and then you'll be able to donate there. You'll learn all about the program and everything to go with it. So an awesome opportunity to support NIU Esports. All right. So with that in mind, we're going to get back to this screen that you guys love so much because we left it up for too long. And then once the game ends up loading in, we'll go ahead and we'll show that to you guys. So give us just a minute here. Immediately looking at it, already something interesting in that is a Ignite set. So NIU definitely looking to be a little bit more aggressive here early on. Yeah, that is a couple of different. There we go. And so looking at it here. Yes, I know you guys can't see yet, but there you go. Now you'll be able to see. And so here we go. It should load it for you just a second. There it is, and now you guys are able to see the game. So looking at it, that is double ignites on NIU and no teleports. So they definitely want to play a little bit aggressive here in the early game. They've got Gotcha Sucker with that ignite on the set. It's going to be the teleports in both the top and mid lane for the side of Miami, as well as the ignite in the support role instead of the exhaust that Buff Pillsbury Boy is running. Cleanse for both the ADCs, so no heals, and so that'll be just the early on 5-point stacks here, except for NIU going to modify it just a little bit and put their bot lane together here on that point. But overall, NIU just going to place down some vision, and then we'll move forward with it. Give us just a second.
Yeah, just something I want to point out. So I can go over the runes real fast. Of course, we got standard on top lane for, we'll just start with NIU set. Running the Conqueror, same with J4, nothing surprising there. Ari with the surprising pick on Arcane Comet. I'm not sure if Arcane Comet got buffed recently. Because usually I feel like you'd want to pick that Electrocute, especially if you're running that Ignite for that early game pressure. But we'll see what B Chillin has in mind for us. Jin picking up the Fleet Footwork, and then Lux with the Arcane Comet, nothing surprising. We got Renekton with Conqueror once again, nothing crazy. Elise Electrocute. Veigar with the Electrocute, which is a little surprising. I figured you want that Arcane Comet because it's much more easy to hit on Veigar, and you get a little extra poke damage, as we see B chillin', and Veigar just getting a little poke damage early. Oh, well, what do I know? He just procced Electrocute.
Yeah, and looking at it as well, this could be kind of like we mentioned with Cassiopeia on Wednesday's game, when NIU was able to take advantage of the fact that level 1 Cassiopeia did not necessarily have the stats. Final Blast of Ohio actually going to go in and do a nice chunk tier. Could potentially get Gotcha Sucker. Is going to be able to back away, but definitely a nice chunk of damage from the Miami top laner here. And nicely traded back here by Gotcha Sucker, though. And now we'll see NIU go for this one. That's a lot of damage. That could be, Beans is going to have to flash away. NIU doing a nice job of just poking him out here. And that was kind of what I was going to go for here, is the bot lane of Miami does not necessarily have the damage that you would expect here, considering that that is a Varus with tier. And are you going to continue to poke this out? And it does look like Elise could be matched up, though Jarvan is going to be here, so NIU could potentially find this one out. Ari also roaming. This is going to be a fight going on the top lane at the same time. It is going to be Elise able to escape, but yeah, definitely. Oh, here's the engage from NIU. That's going to be Flash coming out from Buff Pillsbury while your First Blood goes over to the side of Miami. NIU's going to have to be careful to get out of this one. Flash forward, nicely done to get the fourth shot out from Extra Loaded. Now he's going to be able to trade this one back and actually dodges out on the arrow, and that means that he's able to get the double kill. NIU playing that one extremely well in the bot lane. They'll lose First Blood, but they will win the trade, and that is a 2-0-0 Jhin early on in the game, and you really love to see that if you're an NIU fan.
Oh, yeah, that's fantastic to see. Excellent work by NIU there. I'm a little surprised that Miami kept aggressing on it. Granted, they did get the first blood, so well played by them, but it was just a good job by Extra Load to trade those both out. Buff Pillsbury Void doing a good job of just kind of baiting them in there. Excellent play by NIU. Something I did notice is you see Not has Glacial Augment over Aftershock, which might be why he took so much damage in those early trades. And we get a nice charm out of Ari. Looks like another engage.
Yeah, the cage does land, but it might not be enough, as its beans is going to be taken very low. Buff Pillsbury, going to be able to grab that one. It might be traded back. It is indeed going to be the kill going over towards Veigar. So actually, if you're the side of Miami, you'll take that trade. You like it a little better. Now, that's a lot of... Ooh, the W does just miss from set. I thought that might have landed, and that would have been a lot of damage on towards Final Boss. Does not end up landing. So overall, is just a pretty even trade. Neither one of these top laners has the ability to heal up with it, but wow, there's just going to be the flash engage from the Renekton. The slice and dice lands, and everything lands, and it is going to be the kill over towards Renekton here up in the top lane. And that is not what you want to see as an NIU fan, considering the farm lead is already about 20 CS up in that top lane here.
Yeah, and NIU's going to have to be watching out for Renekton. He's going to be kind of scary at this point. Set, unfortunately, he's probably just going to have to play it safe. Not much he can do, especially with this Elise still roaming around. So far, we've had quite a fiesta of a game. 6 kills in 5 minutes. You love to see it. It's always entertaining. I mean, at this point, NIU, everything's about equal. Miami's up about 500 gold. Pretty insignificant, especially in this early game when there hasn't been much backing. I think the only thing we really have to worry about right now for NIU that I'm looking at is just this Renekton.
Yeah, I think that's really where you got to put your attention towards. That mid lane skirmish, the kill did go over towards Veigar, whereas on NIU's side it went over towards the Lux, so a little bit of a priority there. Mid lane going to be a little bit ahead on the side of Miami, but overall, I think it's, like you said, pretty even, and Renekton really the largest lead here for the side of Miami.
Yeah, looks like everyone's just going to be kind of setting back up. Looks like things are going to simmer down for a little bit at least. Everyone's just going to be kind of CSing. Now, Renekton does have ult, while Set does not. Set really needs to watch out for that. Renekton's ult gives him some nice steroids just to his abilities, as well as doing, I believe, damage just in a small area around him. Something I would like to see Set pick up is maybe some early anti-heal. Just, really make sure that Renekton can't trade you as well in extended fights, and it does allow your jungler to kind of come in, help you 2v1. Though it looks like Elise, oh no, it's going to be a 2v2 top lane.
Yeah, I think NIU just going to have to back away from this one, and I think they do a nice job of doing so, answering the gank with their own. And so it does mean that both teams do like just to back away from that one. But I think that was a difficult position to be in if you didn't have it being a 2v2 in that situation.
Yeah, it was well done. Honestly, it's one of those where NIU was smart not to trade it. Just the risk of getting caught, as Jhin is going to get hooked by Not, who is level down. They're going to try to 2v1 to Varus. Jhin is taking a ton of damage. Wow, that Varus, just that Q just does so much damage.
Yeah, that was a really interesting play from Shark Chili, able to nicely cleanse out the exhaust, and then from there the damage mitigation was gone, and so he was able to then just do enough damage with the ignite stacked on top of him to kill off Extra Loaded there. So nicely played by Miami, and this is going to be Set just trying to get the ultimate back in. Now this is a charm on towards its beans, and we'll see if NIU is able to turn anything around with this. They do have a second stack of the ulti, and it is going to be, now the dash coming through, that its beans is taken very low. Xanakin's also going to be here. It's going to be the shutdown on towards Be Chillin' here, and NIU doing a nice job of turning things around and making sure that if Miami gets aggressive on some of these plays, they're at least getting something for it. This could potentially, with Xanakin already down here, it could mean the Dragon for the side of NIU. Ultimate going to fall off from Final Boss of Ohio, and he's got to be careful not to do damage to Gotcha Sucker, as there it is. That's going to be the turret shot, and nicely done to just dash out of that. Is the Ignite going to burn him down? It is going to be 1 health. I think he is going to live with just about, 19 health now after healing up, and so he's going to have had a little, probably 10 HP was what he lived on there through the Ignite. So a little bit unfortunate for NIU. I think one more turret shot obviously would have done that, and so it will just be the evasive maneuvers here from the side of Gotcha Sucker. As you mentioned, you kind of would like some anti-heal, especially now that Vamp Scepter is finished off here by Final Boss of Ohio. So NIU just going to have to be a little bit more, going to have to play back a little bit here. Hope that the Renekton doesn't try to dive too often. But I think with the tabbies already finished, there's definitely the opportunity to maybe have enough armor to get through that. A little bit of damage coming through. Both junglers down to the bot side. They definitely don't want to give up this first Drake. And so we'll have to see how these junglers want to play this out, if they will indeed go for this gank.
Yeah, NIU, now that Lux is pretty close to getting her ultimate, Jin does have his, which is a big advantage for them, just being able to kind of sit further back. Elise is going to back right as J-Force coming in. This could be very good for NIU if they can get on top of this Varus. They're going to need to focus him down. Looks like they're going to focus on the Knot first, as Vagar is getting a roam.
Yeah, there's going to be actually the damage coming from the backline. So while NIU is focusing on the support, that was a little bit unfortunate because the Qgert was able to get the roam down, and so it will be the triple kill going over towards Shark Chili while NIU focused on the support, and not quite the execution that you wanted. I think NIU thought they were going to be able to burst down the support here of Miami, but unfortunately he did have the stopwatch available to himself at that point. Now has sold it since it was broken, and now this could be a gank towards the top lane. Gotcha Sucker gonna have to be careful on this one. Does not have flash, and he'll just ult away, trying to get the potential stun, but they won't position in a way to end up landing that, and so it will just barely miss, and it will be the kill going over towards Final Boss of Ohio here.
Yeah.
Stun gonna land on towards Be Chill, and this could potentially be the ulti. Not gonna quite have the damage to be able to use the ulti and get the kill, so he will be able to survive there, but NIU having a tough go of it here in the early game.
Yeah, I mean, like we expected NIU to have a bit of a rough early game. Honestly, it was just definitely a misplay. Is now obviously going to get picked mid lane on that bot engage right there. They really need to focus down that Varus. He does too much damage to be left alone. But there's still hope. I mean, it's about a 3,500 gold difference. Renekton's probably going to extend it a little more, but luckily the big thing right now is Elise is not very far ahead. She's going to be falling off in probably about the next 5 minutes. That doesn't mean that Elise doesn't have utility. She's still a strong utility with her stun and ability to get on top of people, but overall Elise just won't really have enough to take on Jin or Ahri. Gotcha Sucker's going to trade Renekton, who's just going to be sitting behind his tower and just eating up those waves. As Elise is also waiting there. Looks like it might be a 2v2, but with Gotcha Sucker already at half health.
Yeah, just the flash coming through. Be Chillin' was already roaming, but they didn't expect Pee-wee to be there. Now the charm is going to be dodged out with the dash there from the Elise, and Xanakin going to have to get out of that one, flashing as well. Final Boss of Ohio just doing too much damage here, and now he could re-engage on towards the Jarvan, but it doesn't matter because NIU is going to be able to turn that around with the kill coming on to Be Chillin'. The Spiderlings aren't going to be able to are going to actually be really helpful there for Pee-wee, as that'll mean that Be Chillin' did get kind of minion blocked by them, so he wasn't able to follow up. And now this is going to be the engage on towards the bot lane. It's going to be the double ultimates used, and already we see that Buff Pillsbury Boy has fallen, but Extra Loaded is going to be able to trade that one back. So it will be 1-for-1 in the bot lane. Both supports will fall, but that is just the Varus getting further and further ahead. Already has 231 stacks on the Manamune, and now also is going to have the also has a serrated Dirk in his pocket. So definitely a scary spot if you're the Huskies. They have to really just hold off for now and potentially hold on and they could, grab this back as they do have that scaling that you were saying, but definitely going to be a tough middle part of this game.
Yeah, now Vagar also has been able to pull ahead. I like how B Chillin's been around the map, but unfortunate thing is that because B Chillin has kind of had to roam to try to get his team back in, Vagar, I believe it was Hugert, I hope I'm saying that right. He's been just kind of able to free farm. He's got 102 CS, so he's probably got a lot of stacks. We'll have to check his AP next time we see him. Set's going to stun Renekton under tower, and Renekton is going to take a tower shot, but he's up 2 levels, and at this point, there's not much that Gotcha Sucker can really do against Renekton.
Yeah, especially with that Blade of the Rune King already finished by the Renekton here and up almost on a Flame Horizon already. Zanakin gonna just dodge out from that Q from its beans, but now the re-engage comes through. NIU gonna look to grab this. This is gonna be the ultimates coming through. They're gonna trade this back, but it will be 1 kill going over towards the side of NIU. But unfortunately, there's going to be the issue as NIU just takes the damage in the back line while they're still fighting, and now this is going to be everybody falling as Shark Chili is going to be donated that kill as well. So 2 kills over to the ADC from Miami here. Now, Final Boss of Ohio will take a little bit of damage there, but not really going to be too worried, especially now with the ultimate procced here. That's going to be ultimate actually in response. It will be just enough to clear the wave, but doesn't matter in the end as just 1 turret shot will land. And so that'll be another kill going over towards this Renekton. And unfortunately, Miami just doing a good job of punishing every play that NIU goes for in this game.
Yeah, I think NIU really needs to take a step back. I like how they like to be aggressive, but when you're down this much, I think you need to try to play around maybe Miami making a mistake or two, getting a couple free picks. Just collecting CS and trying to bring this to the late game. I think at this point now, granted, Miami is only getting the first Drake, so luckily you don't have to worry too much about Drakes, but they're so far ahead, team fighting is kind of out of the question. Because NIU had a very good engage last time they got the Lux ult off, but the problem is this Varus is 8-2, he's doing big damage, so is Vagar. Looks like they're going to try to look for a dive on bot lane. Bot lane does have vision, so they're going to back off. This is a good play by them. But I don't know, NIU's kind of running out of options to get themselves back into this game.
Yeah, I think they're just banking on NIU to respond to some of these plays. And actually, that's going to be the stun over the wall. That could be a lot of damage. Its Beans is going to be taken very low, but with the flash is going to be able to get out of that one. And so it will just be the Nautilus able to get out of that one just using the flash. Was pretty close there from NIU, but not able to finish off the kill. If you're NIU, luckily you do have Mythics coming online. Unfortunately, in a lot of those cases, it's against 2 items for the side of Miami in the respective lanes. But we'll have to see how NIU wants to go about this. As you can see on the map, they are allowing the set to free farm a little bit, so he's not going to quite fall down to 100 CS below, but definitely still down quite a bit of gold. Actually, more than double the gold on this Renekton that there is on the set. So just an unfortunate situation for the NIU top laner of Gotcha Sucker 34 here. Looking across though, let's kind of compare that. You do see that it's about a 600 gold lead, 400 gold lead in the jungle, about a 2,000 gold lead in the mid lane here for Miami, about a 2,500 gold lead in the ADC position, and NIU does have a lead in the support role, which might be their one saving grace in this matchup right now. But unfortunately, despite this only being a 9-16 kill differential, NIU's down about 9,000 gold in this game because Miami's just been pushing the tempo that aggressively.
Yeah, Miami, like I said, they kind of get that early lead and push it, and they've been doing a fantastic job of just kind of shoving in the lanes, forcing NIU to take fights, and they've been capitalizing on it well. You're going to see just kind of a nice split here. They take mid-turret again. They're just going to keep extending that lead. NIU at this point probably needs to start grouping up and just trying to get individual picks like on this Renekton here. But with him being 4-1, having that Bork, you got to wonder, though. There is going to be a big engage, a nice CC lock.
Yeah,
I
the
think that's going to be it.
Nice flash. Renekton does dodge out of the final spark, but doesn't end up mattering as the kill will go over towards, I believe that was Jin that picked it up. And so it will be a lot of damage. Now this is going to be, as well, that's going to be the Shark Chili dying over to be chill, and that's a nice shutdown for NIU. It's Beans is going to be stuck in the Cataclysm as well, and NIU will grab a couple here. Gotcha Sucker's going to be in a tough spot here. He'll actually fall as well, but it doesn't matter in the end as NIU now going to be able to play this one out. Pee-wee also going to be taken very low. That's going to be the flag and drag from the Jarvan, and NIU a 4-for-1 in favor of the Huskies here. Now a flash forward. The teleport does come through, though, from Renekton, so NIU going to have to be careful here. They're going to go ahead and stun him up. Nicely done. They could potentially look for a little bit more. Final Boss of Ohio going to have to slice a little bit away there, and so it will be just the disengage from Ohio, but NIU finding a really nice play here.
Yeah, that is exactly what I was talking about with NIU there. It was so great. Miami's overextending. You know, they're kind of getting a little cocky, and you punish them for it. That's fantastic. It's a 4-for-1 trade. Fortunately, you didn't get the Veigar, but, you know, it's one of those things. You picked up a couple other bounties. Elise at this point is pretty far behind. You just have to worry about her stun. But now, you know, you're looking at NIU, and this game definitely does look, you know, no longer as hopeless. I mean, with that hard CC lock, you can lock down Varus, and you can lock down Renekton. The only person you really have to worry about is Veigar, because he can kind of space you and kite you with his E. And NIU doesn't have too many people who can get on set. It will have difficulty just getting to Veigar. And so will J4 to an extent, just because of Veigar's damage. But other than Veigar, honestly, I think NIU could definitely make something of this now.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, one of the things that I always find interesting, and now that's going to be a lot of damage going over towards its Beans. The W does not land there from the from Jin. Otherwise, I think that could have potentially been the stun lock into the pick. Gotcha Sucker going to be in a tough spot. Going to be stuck in the Veigar pit. Nicely done to dodge out from that one. The final spark is going to come through, and that's going to be a lot of damage. Its Beans is going to fall, and NIU going to have to just get out of this one. Gotcha Sucker. Actually, nicely done. Nice snipe by Shark Chili. So NIU going to be in a tough spot here. Zanakin going to have to get it back from this one. NIU is able to get the recall off on the Ahri, but I believe this will be the bottom tier 2 falling, potentially the bottom inhibitor turret as well, with the Rift Herald also ready to go here. Miami does look like they're going to call off the push now. They're going to go ahead and just go for their second dragon of the game. It is going to be the Mountain Drake here. Now NIU could potentially go for this. That's a nice Cataclysm, and they're going to go ahead and grab that pick on towards the final boss of Ohio here. So NIU will trade this back in the kills, and the gold not necessarily going back towards their favor at this point, but they are picking up the picks they need to just buy themselves time to continue to scale.
I mean, yeah, at this point right now, if NIU's trading 1-for-1, as long as Miami's not taking too many objectives with it, it's honestly, that's ideal for NIU if you trade 1-for-1 right now. But, of course, the gold lead has been brought down a little bit. NIU's probably about 1,000 or 2 gold back, which is obviously good, but it's still not great. Set it still doesn't have that mythic done, though I think at this point, Set is going to be into a similar area that Naut is, where he's going to be a lot of engage and kind of just, you know, Set eats the damage so that his team may, you know, do the big boy damage. And, you know, sometimes you got to be that sacrificial lamb. You know, it's part of being a team. It's not fun to play. But it's very, very important job.
Exactly. I think of the TSM versus FlyQuest game earlier this week, where we saw that Solo up in the top lane was playing Ornn, was the sacrificial lamb for his team, was 0-5 at one point, and ended up finishing the game like 5-5-9 or something like that. So pretty ridiculous the amount of damage he was able to tank on the actually, sorry, it was Cho'Gath, not Ornn. My apologies. But looking at it, we do see this is going to be the engage coming through from NIU. Unfortunately, Gotcha Sucker is going to be picked off here in the bot lane. Yeah, he is going to get finished off here. And it is also going to be B-Chill and falling too. So that's one of NIU's main source of damage there, as well as the Jhin. So NIU going to have to back away from this one. Shark Chili going to go for a nice arrow, but it's not going to really do much in the end. And NIU going to have to answer their bot lane inhibitor getting pressured on. Zanakin's here, so that is going to be the ultimate use already. The flag drag does mean that he gets knocked up, and that's going to be final boss of Ohio. Actually, going to be able to grab the kill on towards the Lux, but it will be, he'll still fall, so it will be a 1-for-1 in that favor. But crucially for Miami, they're going to be able to grab the Baron off of this. They know that NIU had to send everybody down to the bot lane to answer it, so they'll go ahead and grab the Baron. Zanakin, he will be spotted on the ward there, so he won't be able to get this kill. But he will grab his own blue buff, so NIU just going to continue to grab what they can in this matchup. Looking at the set, it does have the Stride Breaker finish now. Still a little over 100 CS down, so just got really unfortunate circumstances for that lane. The Charm doesn't land. That's going to be the flash and the ulti used here from the Nautilus. Is he going to be chill and able to get out of that one? Yes, he is. He's going to be able to get away from the potential dredge line there. And actually, nice route on towards his beans. So NIU going to look to see what they can do to hold off this Baron-empowered push by the side of Miami.
Yeah, NIU really needs to wait for someone to overextend so they can get a quick pick here. I think that's kind of their only hope because if Miami walks this wave in, NIU is not going to be able to clear it enough where Miami won't be able to destroy this tower. And if Miami destroys the tower, they're going to be able to engage. It's going to be difficult as they're going to look for a good. They're going to nice root on Veigar. Not quite enough damage, and not just be able to tank it. Do get that fourth shot on Veigar. Drops into about half health, but trading that 1 for 0 is just probably not going to work for NIU. It's going to be a 4v5. They're walking it in top lane too. It's not looking good for NIU at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Shark Chili does fall low as well. Extra loaded. If there's one nice point to that, it is that he's able to get that. Now, at least looking for a stun there, not able to grab it. And it will be NIU just having to try to hold on to their mid lane here. Nobody gets caught in the event horizon, but it is still going to be, that's going to be the stun coming through from the dredge line. And it'll be NIU dropping their top laner once again. Be Chilling going to be taken very low. That's also going to be just enough damage coming through from the ADC here of the side of Miami. NIU will get one back, almost got a second, not able to land enough damage, but with the Nautilus backing, he'll be able to get back in here relatively quickly. NIU going to have to try to hold this one in a 2v3, and Buff Pillsbury Boy going to be taken low, not going to be able to, or is not going to fall, but it will be the ADC here from NIU. Extra loaded will get killed off by the Renekton, and one of the Nexus turrets has fallen. NIU does have their respawns, so they are able to, wow, that is a lot of damage. But Veigar will fall to the Lux, so Buff Pillsbury Boy able to grab the shutdown there, but that is all 3 inhibitors, or sorry, 2 out of 3 inhibitors taken and a Nexus turret already having fallen. And now Miami does have the respawns coming through. They won't have Veigar for another 30 seconds, but I'm not sure that it'll matter. They are pinging on towards this dragon. They may elect to go for the Infernal Drake, just to give them a little more damage in this game. But you have to imagine that there's not really a way NIU can contest that. They just need to hold on to these waves and continue to clear out their base. And so Miami kind of gets free reign of the map for a decent amount of time here.
I mean, luckily if you're NIU, Baron's not up for another 2.5 minutes. This is going to be third Drake, which isn't great, but you got another 5 minutes before you have to worry about Soul. Honestly, I'm a little surprised Miami just tried to force the end there. They probably could have just taken all 3 inhibs and walked it in. So they definitely could have won this game a little faster. But, I guess we'll see. I mean, obviously they still have a massive advantage with those 2 inhibs down. They might just walk it up top lane. Now they have that Renekton there. They're going to get that nice charm and damage on and a root. Okay, on a nod from across the map. But at this point, we're going to see what happens.
Yeah, that's going to be the stun on towards Gotcha Sucker, or from Gotcha Sucker, I should say. Final Boss of Ohio going to be actually taken down to about half HP, but NIU going to have to hold 2 different lanes at this point, including their, now they're going to lose all 3 inhibs, and there's still a super minion already in there. NIU going to be just chunked out very low. They're going to get 1 kill, but that's Final Boss of Ohio already onto the back line. It's going to be 1 falling for NIU, 2 actually, now 3, and NIU going to have to just use this, actually 4, my apologies, as it is just going to be everybody. And now Miami just going to go ahead and try to get kills in the fountain. You have to imagine that there's some level of gamesmanship there. But it is going to be the ace going over to Miami, 32-20, a very bloody game, 26 minutes, 59,000 gold to 43,000, 16,000 gold, that advantage. Definitely not something that Miami was worried about there. But, wow, that was a very bloody game and all over the map on that one.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta say, you gotta give credit to NIU. It was a bit of a rough start. I think they had just a couple too many misplays that they couldn't bring it back, but they held on for a pretty long time. Honest to God, you looked at the game at 15 minutes. I was worried Miami was gonna end it on it, possibly even sub 20, but NIU got some good picks. They had some good plays there, so I think just looking into this next game, I think we're gonna want to pick maybe something a little safer top lane. I think I like the aggression from bot lane early, but it was just a couple times when they're focusing on that knot when they really need to be looking at the damage dealers. And Vagar was just given a little too much space to get ahead there. By the end of the game, Vagar honestly did not make a huge difference. I felt most of that game, but those last two fights when he was he quite literally one shot set almost.
Yeah.
And it's just at the point where he was getting out of control. So I don't think there would have been much NIU could have done there. But looking for this next game, they've probably learned a lot of stuff from this game. Hopefully they can kind of take those lessons. And I seriously think NIU, if they could play like how they were towards the middle of that game, I think we can definitely see them bring it back here.
Yeah, I could see that. This is to give context to it all. So we've mentioned a few times that Buffalo is this powerhouse within the conference. I have to say we've taken a look at it, and much to Tim and I's surprise, Buffalo has actually dropped a couple matches at this point. So this is a Ball State team that NIU will be playing on Wednesday. That is actually sitting undefeated and has beaten both Northeastern and Buffalo. So they are very strong. Miami already having beaten Buffalo as well. So there is definitely some strength here in this Miami lineup that, we may have been assuming that the power structure was going to be Buffalo at the top with, the Northeastern and then Miami and Ball State kind of deking it out for third, fourth. But this may be the strongest or second strongest team in the conference right here in Miami. So you have to give them credit. This time we are going to show you Champ Select as we are actually into it already. Miami going to go for the blue side this time. So NIU going to change it up just a little bit, and it is going to be the Maokai banned out to start this matchup. The Varus, NIU did not like seeing that one from Shark Chili, so they're going to go ahead and ban that one away. And now it's going to be the Sejuani, so pinching the jungle pool once again. It may be that that Miami's in the wrong order, but it kind of looks like Pee-wee is playing towards the top lane this time with Final Boss of Ohio playing as the jungler. So looks like they may be switching up the lineup and the roles just a little bit here, giving people different chances to play different things. Fiore going to be banned away here by the side of NIU, but now the Rumble. We thought it might have gotten through this time, but Miami says absolutely not. We're not letting B Chill and play that famed Rumble of his, and it's going to be Camille taken off the board by the side of NIU once again.
One day we'll get to see Rumble. I hope I am able to cast the day we get to see B Chillin's Rumble, because I mean, you gotta wonder, what is this man doing in solo queue that makes everyone ban Rumble?
Absolutely. Ezreal going to be picked up by the side of Miami. That's a little bit different. I haven't seen as much Ezreal lately, so I am kind of surprised to see that one. Excited to see where they want to go with it. You have to imagine it's probably the ADC Ezreal. I mean, I'm guessing it's not going to be a mid lane, but they're going to pick it up, and Amumu going to be picked up here by the side of NIU. So Amumu and Kaisa. So a bot lane duo that they have been, talking about and playing quite a bit. You have to imagine that Amumu will be the support, although it could technically go back and be flexed towards the jungle if NIU wants to go that direction with things. Silas is going to be hovered, but now it's going to be Ivern locked in, so a very different look here in the jungle for Miami. Not something that you see as much, but also a Rengar for the top lane. We'll see where they want to go with that, because that's already could be an Ivern support with a Rengar in the jungle, but Miami definitely playing something interesting at this point. I'm not sure exactly what this lineup's going to look like. And NIU, are they answering things? Is that the bird? Is that the crystal bird?
The Ice Phoenix herself?
Anivia! We get an Anivia. Let's go. Throwing it back. Anivia, definitely a champion that we've seen in the NIU esports lore of many years. We had, so much like we have with the Rumble of this year for B Chillin', it Anivia was the signature pick of our previous mid laner, Space Marine 18. So he would, he would command the Anivia ban every week, the same way that we see the Rumble ban every week. So throwing it back to him, I'm sure this is not a pick in homage to him, but in my mind it is. We're throwing it back. We're getting back to the roots of NIU Esports League of Legends, and we're gonna have an Anivia in the mid lane. Veigar going to be banned as well as the Jarvan, so we will see some different directions that this game is headed in with both of those being picked in last game and now banned away. So we have seen 3 different things that were played in last game banned already, and you have to imagine, is this going to be the 4th one with this final ban from NIU?
I'm wondering if we're going to ban out that top lane. I think that top lane, that Renekton gave us a lot of trouble. Just being able to split, we do see the Jax ban, so Renekton does remain open. Renekton, honestly, I think is actually more manageable than Jax. It might not seem like it after last game, but Renekton is, Jax is just a terrifying champion late game. Okay, and we're going to see the Wukong ban from Miami. I would like to see NIU pick up the Malphite. The Malphite is so good. Everyone's sleeping on him. You max that W, you got like 800 armor by mid game. It's great. It's a good time for everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. And looking at it right now, it looks like, so Pee-wee was playing jungler last game. It's possible they're just in the wrong order, but it is possible as well that Final Boss of Ohio and Pee-wee have switched positions for this match, which is where I wonder if NIU is looking at something a little different and saying maybe they don't need to ban out the Renekton because maybe it's not the same top laner playing it. But Zach going to be picked up here by NIU. That is a very different look. Well, I say that. It's a different look for... And there it is. It's Ezreal mid. I said I hoped it wasn't. I thought it maybe would, but, I was like, maybe they won't play it. Maybe they'll do something different. But Kalista and Thresh would have been interesting, but Pyke now... Now, this is interesting, because Kalista, you definitely want, when you're using your ultimate, something a little tanky. Is that going to be your Malphite? Tim's like jumping up in his seat, jumping up and down here. This is his main, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to have to see, is this going to be the Malphite? It's the hover. This has got to be the hover for Tim here. We got to see, are they going to bait and switch us right at the end? And it is going to be locked in. It's going to be a Malphite, ladies and gentlemen, which is very different. So, here's the idea. Wait a second. Is that an Ezreal ADC and a Kalista top lane?
Ooh. Okay, Kalista top. That's a
throwback, but
meta for a short time at very high elo. Which Miami does have some high elo players. Kalista, though, from my understanding, hasn't been meta for quite a while. Riot kind of doesn't let her be meta because she is too problematic when she is.
So here's my question: who do you rend, or not rend? Who do you soulbound to as Kalista here? Because maybe Ivern is tanky enough, maybe, but you don't have a tank on the team. So who are you gonna? I mean, I guess you can use it for disengage, but who are you gonna? Excuse me, who's gonna go in? Who are you gonna throw into the team here? Unless you're expecting that you're so far ahead that whoever you throw in is just gonna one-shot somebody, and then they're gonna sacrifice themselves for the one-shot potential. I'm not necessarily sure I like the pick there. I mean, call me a hater. Call me a hater. But this kind of looks like a draft of we know we're better than you and we want to, play this funky draft just to prove it type of deal. And, if they want to play that way, all the power to them. But I really like the draft of NIU's over the side of Miami's here. I don't necessarily see what they're going for with it. I mean, maybe super poke. I guess you throw out a Q on Kalista, you throw out the Ivern E and the Ezreal Q and the Pyke dagger, and maybe you get some poke, but I don't know. You get the same thing from NIU. You got the engage on the Malphite. You got engage on Zac. You got engage on Amumu. You've got Kai'Sa to be able to fire in a Void Seeker and then follow up with her ultimate. You've got Anivia who's just going to, if you can lock them down, she's just going to dump an ultimate on top of them and do like half their health bars, because these are all squishy players from the side of Miami. So
It is a bit of a BM comp. Honestly, I think it is. I honestly struggle to think, even if Miami plays this really well, if this goes to mid to even somewhat to late game, I mean, you got Malphite, Zakamumu. You have no one who could. Maybe Callista could shred tank, but even then, she doesn't shred that much. And then you have a Pike and Rengar, so you got nothing doing there against someone, especially like Malphite. You're just gonna stack armor. There's very little AP on the team with the Ivern. Ez maybe has a little bit of mixed damage, but even then, not enough. Um,
Is this a level 1 comp? Is that the thinking here? Because hear me out. Is this you take Q on Pike, you take the stun on Ivern, you take Rengar's dive, you take Callista's Q, you throw everything at somebody, like you just run into a bush, throw everything at somebody, pull them back, and now you've got, obviously, there's no escaping all of those forms of range damage from level 1, but it almost feels like that's the mentality here of, if the level 1 goes poorly, who cares, because there's always game 3.
yeah, I mean, that's the only thing I can think of really, because I'll be honest, frankly speaking, even if you got that one pick level 1, it doesn't mean anything. Maybe you've got 4 or 5. I mean, maybe that would mean something, but the single first blood really doesn't determine the game, especially when the draft is like this. I think it's a bit BM, really. That's what it feels like. Hopefully NIU comes out on top. I would like to see us go to game 3 and something. I'm excited for that. Even if we, win or lose, I've always wanted us to go to game 3. They're so exciting. All that pressure. And I guess we'll just have to see what happens here. I don't know. You don't like to see it from Miami. I'm not sure if this is the most cheeky comp I've ever seen, and maybe they know something I don't. But it's just you don't like to see it.
Yeah, I mean, you never know. It could be that this is actually like the most Giga-brained comp we've ever seen, and we're just two low elo players not knowing what we're talking about here. It's possible, but I'm not sure. We'll have to see how this one goes.
Objective timers.
Thank you. Let's get you some objective timers. There you go. So it's going to be Infernal to start, which is obviously less than ideal if you're NIU. So it's not a level 1 comp because they're not 5 stacking. But immediately, that's a 1 trade right there from NIU. Now Zanakin could be caught here. Final boss of Ohio going to actually be chasing him down. The Rend has already been used. Zanakin will lose passive here and could potentially lose his life in the level 1 invade. And maybe it is a level 1 comp. It sure is. That's going to be kill going over towards the side of Miami. And not necessarily ideal for the side of NIU, as they do have Final Boss of Ohio 1-0-0 on this one. The assists are going to go over towards the Ivern and the Callista, so a decent amount of gold going to be spread across the team. It will mean just the additional longsword for the Rengar. Otherwise, it's pretty standard here. So we'll have to see how NIU ends up playing this one out. But like you said, that first pick may not necessarily be as problematic as we may have thought so at the beginning here. We'll have to see how this one continues to play out. And so it is that mid lane Ivern. Definitely an interesting pick. We've seen it we've seen it in and out of the meta at different times. It's definitely like an LS draft type of pick. But we'll have to see. Is this maybe a funnel towards the Rengar, I wonder? I'm still trying to figure out what they want to do with this one. Anyway, let's go through everything. We've got Callista on the lethal tempo and the teleport. Then that's going to be Conqueror for the Rengar. Going to be teleport and summon Airy for the Ivern. It's going to be heal and press the attack from the Ezreal, and that's a nice trade going through by Beach Hill in there in the mid lane. And then it's going to be Hail of Blades and Ignite for its beans on this Pike. On NIU side, it's going to be Teleport and the Arcane Comet for Gotcha Sucker on this Malphite. It's going to be the Aftershock for the Zac, Arcane Comet for the Anivia and Ignite, as well as Heal and Hail of Blades for Kaisa, and Exhaust and Glacial Augment here for the side of the Amumu.
Yeah, the one thing I'm looking at for Miami, what I wonder if their game plan is with this Rengar is just heavy invade. Looks like final boss of Ohio is going to go jump onto Anivia. She's going to get rooted. They have those bushes, so they have a lot of that pressure mid. Just Rengar being able to constantly jump on you from mid. Anivia is going to get out. It's going to cost her her flash. She does still have her passive up, though, so even if they do want to tower dive, Gotcha Sucker, I think, needs it back here. You know, you got to give up that CS. It's worth it because, yeah, Kalista might get a little bit of CS ahead, but if she gets the kill, you're in bad shape. Just like that, she's going to be able to walk it out, and that's kind of not great for NIU there. You don't want her to get the kill, and she's going to be able to get out, and she has your flash now.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, NIU going to get a little bit of a nice trade there, but the ability to go invisible does mean Pyke is able to get that one, just walk out of that. So it will be the second kill of the game going over towards Miami as well. Once again, top lane just going to be starving the top laner here from NIU of farm, as Gotcha Sucker is in a tough spot. Only 8 CS to the 23 of Kalista, and yeah, you have to wonder.
I think it's one of those I'd like to see a little more help from Xanakin. Honestly, if you get that double team, if this Kalista wants to play so aggro, we're going to see Rengar. Looks like he might be making a move top, and Gotcha Sucker might be in trouble. But if you get a lot more pressure on that top lane, I mean, it's free as we're going to get a nice hook onto Pyke. He's going to get the stun. We're going to get the jump from Zach. He's going to miss the Q. Gotcha Sucker's going to be getting dough, but it looks like everyone's going to be getting out here. Kalista's going to get a lot of damage, though. She's going to trade, though. So Gotcha Sucker does trade. Honestly, it's pretty good when you're getting dove right like that. That's not too bad.
Yeah, and he does get the kill back at least, so does fall just barely, but does end up getting the kill back, which is nice. So it will be 1 and 2 here for the Malphite against this Kalista here, and NIU not able to grab anything on that bot lane attempt. It was close, but not able to dive over the wall or not able to land the dive there from Zach with the nice attempt.
I think you got to keep in mind here, too, is that Nivea is not exactly an early game champion. Malphite, to an extent, isn't very early game. Kaisa, well, she's actually pretty decent all the time, but scales very hard. And, I mean, for NIU, you just can't worry too much about this early game. It's all about bringing in the mid game and being in good shape for when you do.
Yep, making sure that you don't lose anything here in the mid lane or in the mid game. Sorry, and now that's going to be the passive coming through from the Anivia. Actually, not going to fall, and it is going to be final boss of Ohio going down on this one. And NIU able to trade that back nicely. Did not even lose the Anivia passive, so really well done by the Huskies there. Able to grab that one back and trade one at least. Now, that'll be the bandage toss does not land, which I think otherwise that could have been the kill going over towards the side of NIU. Now, this is going to be the dive on top of Kugert. He's going to be taken very low. Flash forward. Could lose his passive is the Anivia, but doesn't matter, as actually Daisy is going to be just enough to be able to get Xanakin out of this, or not to get the kill here. And, yeah, it'll be just enough to get Kugert out of that one, but very close fight in the end. I think the Rengar able to be roaming over means that this could be chilling in a bad spot here. Dive forward, doesn't have flash, does not have passive, and so it will just be final boss of Ohio grabbing that kill. A little bit over aggressive, staying a little too long, was be chilling there, and gets punished with the gank there by the side of Miami.
Yeah, NIU is going to need some deep wards in the river here. You got to have that river. It's got to be just all NIU vision. Just keep an eye on that Rengar, because he is ahead. So far, Rengar and Callisto at the only kills on Miami. NIU with one on Anivia, one on Malphite. You definitely want that one on Anivia, and having a kill on Malphite's actually looking pretty good for this game too. Just not a lot of mana on this, or forgive me, AP on the side of Miami. Looks like Pyke's going to be walking up to make a play. He's going to get stunned, but Rengar is bot side. NIU's got to watch out here. You don't want to over-aggress. Mumu might be in too far.
Yeah, Buff Pillsbury Boy going back in. I think he noticed, or actually they did not have vision of Rengar there, so I think they just took a little bit of an aggressive play there. It does cost Mumu his life, but NIU will only lose one in that trade, so it's not as bad as it could have been. But definitely not what you want to see with final boss of Ohio getting so far ahead at this point, 3-1-1 with 150 gold bounty here at 8 minutes into the game.
Yeah, I mean, still though, like we said, it's really about bringing us into that mid game. It's not a huge gold lead too much right now, but you need to worry because, of course, the one issue with NIU being so tanky is that 90% of their damage is focused on Anivia and Kaisa as they're going to jump Qgurt here, though I think he's going to be able to walk it out. So you just got to wonder. Oh, big stun coming in, though. I don't know if they're going to have the damage to finish him off unless we can get a big Anivia wall here. Rengar is coming in to help out his buddy.
Yeah, I think they're just going to be a little bit too far behind to be able to grab that. It was close, but with Daisy just getting the stuns and the knockups from behind, it does mean that Qgurt's going to stay healthy here and not going to fall, and that'll be yet another kill going over towards the jungler here from the side of Miami, as Pee-wee going to be going in here, and Gotcha Sucker is going to be in a bit of a tough spot because the Rend could land here. That's going to be the ult coming through from its beans as well as the Ignite. It'll be the kill going on towards the Anivia. And nicely done, nice ult, and it could be the kill. That's going to be Gotcha Sucker getting the full rotation, and really nicely done to get that solo kill up in the top side.
Yeah, so I mean, now we're at the point where, you know, Kalista got to bully Malphite, but now Malphite at this point, whenever his R is up, the fight is just won. There's not really much Kalista can do. You can't dodge it. It's, you know, extremely fast. I mean, you could flash it, but you almost have to predict it. You have to really have that foresight. So that's really good for NIU that Malphite's going to be coming online here, though you do need to watch out that Rengar, he's now 4-1-1. He's going to be roaming around. You know, Malphite might have to start using his ult to kind of help out his teammates. Rengar is right on top of him. I don't know if he can walk away, though. Nice flash.
Yeah, nice flash over the wall to get out of that one. It is going to be the reset here from Rengar. That's just absurd, the amount of times he can dash at a ward and just kill it. It's weird. But, yeah, that is going to be the Eclipse finished up from Rengar here early on. So already 10 minutes into the game, that is a Rengar with a finished Eclipse. So you got to be very careful if you're NIU. That is the ult being expelled by Ezreal, just able to, you know, keep the wave pushed in. Now this is even more coming through from Pee-wee, although with Gotcha Sucker is about half health, but almost has that ultimate once again. So like you said, not in the worst spot that could be imaginable here, considering that there's probably about 20 to 30 seconds left before that ult is available. And Zach is going to be here as well. Now might have been spotted on the ward, but that's going to be NIU engaging on the bot side. But they're going to be able to grab a lot of damage on towards Pee-wee. They will grab the kill. That'll be a second one on towards Gotcha Sucker. And then actually Buff Pillsbury Boy will get out of that one, but extra loaded. That's going to be one kill donated over towards the Rengar. The other one will be an assist, and so it will be both of the members of NIU's bot lane falling with the Rengar roaming down.
It is a 2-for-2 trade, though, which isn't the worst for NIU. I must say, Rengar jumps out of the bush a little faster than I remember. I don't know if they changed him a little bit, but that is utterly terrifying, especially with Rengar being 5-1. And NIU is going to look to take this rift, and I don't think there's going to be too much to be able to contest them. But Ivern is going to show up, so it might be a bit of a fight after.
Yeah, it looks like that'll be NIU grabbing the Rift Herald, but it will be the Dragon going over towards the side of Miami. NIU not going to be able to get out of that one. Nicely done using the ult to be able to get away from this. And Its Beans is going to be taken kind of low here. Kalista not going to be able to land any more of those shots, though the Rend is available. Flash comes over the wall by Ivern, and it will be that will be Anivia losing her passive. And so now it looks like a potential dive from the side of Miami. Zanakin could potentially get out, but they want to be able to keep this. Daisy is alive, and this is going to be a little bit of damage traded back, but with the double ulti coming through, it'll be both kills going over towards the pike, and Miami completing the nice dive on that one. So I guess the thought process is that Daisy is enough of a tank to where you can just dive turrets at this point, and you know, you want to snowball far enough ahead to where it won't really matter to NIU being able to survive these turret dives.
Yeah, that's it's honestly, it might be bigger brain than we at first thought. Admittedly, I think I would have liked to see Gotcha Sucker actually use his ult to engage there rather than run away. I think a big ultimate to knock them all off would have been a nice CC. It would have given Anivia a big chance to just chunk some people. Because I think part of the problem there was that the ultimate, it got you away for a little bit, but you weren't going to be able to run away from this pike and friends. So we'll see how this game progresses, though. As looks like the first turret is going to go to Miami on that top side with that Callista. And everyone else is just going to be kind of farming up for a bit.
Yeah, it looks like the Blade of the Rune King is going to be finished off here by Callista, and then that is a Moonstone Renewer here for Ivern, so it is going to be as well the 2 Mythics finished for the side of Miami. NIU still sitting on none, so hopefully they're going to be able to get back in this pretty quickly, but that is just going to be the ultimate used once again by Ezreal. Just it's such low cooldown that you could just use it to try to clear out this wave. Now that's a nice bandage toss. The ult comes through as Daisy has been summoned, but with the dash forward, we'll see where the damage goes. Nice ult from Amumu, and there's going to be the shielding though, so NIU actually going to lose the mid lane kill, and now this is just an absurd amount of healing that can come through from Kugert, as Daisy is going to be able now the shield, and Zach not going to be able to land that. Now he's just going to try to kite, as Daisy will do a lot of damage in the back line. Now Bandage Toss does land, so Buff Pillsbury Boy will be able to grab that kill on towards Kugert, but look at the positioning here from Miami. They're going to look towards the bot lane dive here and potentially try to finish off these kills with Rengar. And so Pee-wee going to be fighting Gotcha Sucker. He does have ulti available, but just the Rend is going to be able to kill him off, and that's going to be Final Boss of Ohio also grabbing the kill on towards the Amumu, and Zanakin not going to be able to get out of that one. The Void Seeker does land, but Kaisa is actually going to be able to deter Final Boss of Ohio from going for that one, so Zanakin will live, but extra loaded. Let's see if he's able to land that. Nicely done as the kills do come through. Zanakin is going to trade his life for that one, but its beans is also going to fall, so it's going to be a double kill on towards the Kaisa. And it's 17-8, about a 9,000 gold advantage here for Miami at 15 minutes. And, you know, NIU down quite a bit, but if there's one place you need the gold, it's on the Anivia and on the Kaisa, and you're getting that started at least, but they're still down on their Mythics, and they need to be able to scale into this one pretty quick if you're NIU.
Yeah, it's almost a similar story to last game. It's about a similar gold lead. NIU's just going to have to play this one smart. They're going to have to start looking for those picks again. And I think a lot of things is they need to really stop taking 1v1s. I've seen just this last like 5 minutes, it feels like NIU keeps picking 1v1s that you're just not going to win at this point. And I think you just got to focus on getting those team plays and working together. Just because, I mean, you take a 1v1, even if you start to win it, just the chance that Pyke or Rengar is going to pop out of a bush and all of a sudden you have no longer won the 1v1 is just very high right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And Miami able to place quite a bit of vision up towards the jungle here, so they're never really caught unaware of anything. It's a tough situation from NIU. Looking at it, they now have Miami has four sweepers. So they're going to be placing quite a bit of or denying quite a bit of vision here. As well as placing some of their own, with this Pyke now having the Umbral Glaive as well as his own Sightstone, or not necessarily a Sightstone, sorry, the support item. That is just a lot of damage coming through from Pee-wee, and yeah, it doesn't really matter if you have somebody to use the ultimate on as Callista, if you're able to get this far ahead and just, yeah, that is a 2.5 item Callista, and not really a whole lot NIU can do with that one. So that'll just be the continued pushing forward, and actually, you know, Callista flashing in place there.
I mean, if you're Malphite, you got a nice little bit of free farm. If you can get that turret, you can get it kind of back into the game. Get that nice turret bounty. No, turret bounties are actually... Oh, they are up, sorry. So you have to get a nice 300 gold bounty right there. They're gonna... Miami's going to pick up that second Drake. It's going to put them a little more ahead, though. Earliest they could really get soul is 27 minutes, so not too bad. It looks like Shark Chili is going to go a bit of an aggressive dive. He's going to get picked, and Nivea luckily had her passive up, and that should hopefully be enough to get her up to her Mythic, and then her tier is getting close to being fully stacked, so she can pick up that Archangels, which both are really big power spikes for Nivea.
Yeah, I mean, they just want to try to grab some something with Gotcha Sucker, but unfortunately, Pyke is going to be here too quickly, and so that will be the dash there. Now, we'll see if he's able to get out. Rengar going to just four-shot the Kaisa, and not really a whole lot that they can do there. Ren does miss, so Pee-wee doesn't have that available. Now, NIU is going to look to go in on this one. Its Beans is going to be able to dodge away, but that's going to be a kill on towards the Callista, and NIU doing a nice job. Now they're going to follow through with Bandage Toss. Cougar going to fall as well, and NIU doing a really nice job getting 2 kills on towards Be Chillin' there, and that's exactly what we were talking about, that if they can get some of these picks, they do have avenues back into this game, but they have to play these team plays. Shark Chili going to be in a tough spot. Diving forward, Its Beans is going to be able to dash away from that one. Nicely done. But NIU,
They got to watch out. Rengar's above them.
they got to be aware of the Rengar above them. Now, Shark Chili could potentially, he's going to be taken into a rough spot. He's going to be forced to flash as well. Buff Pillsbury Boy is going to fall as well. Its Beans is going to be able to grab the assist on that one. And NIU needs to get their mid laner out here, and the stun does come through. Be Chillin' able to grab a lot of damage. Xanakin will probably fall as well. Be Chillin' will likely fall to the Rengar here now too. And the Gotcha Sucker, this is just too many carries on the side of Miami, too far ahead, and that'll be a double kill going over towards Final Boss of Ohio. And with that down already, you have to imagine that Miami is going to look to grab this this Rift Herald, and now they're just looking to dive, and they can do that as Callista. And so, yeah, it's just going to be the kill going over towards Callista and the delayed ace for the side of Miami.
Yeah, I think if you're NIU here, pretty much your only hope is if you can force a team fight, which is pretty much what you got to do at this point. You got to force those team fights. You got to try to get them to group up as best you can and just pop them with CC because pretty much at this point when you have Callista and Rengar both so far ahead, the only way you're going to be able to get them is that you just cannot let them play. They can't be allowed to move or use abilities, or you're just going to get kited, or you're just going to get jumped on. And especially for Anivia and Kaisa, they're just going to get killed too fast to be able to take them out. So NIU's getting some early vision, which is nice to see. Pyke's going to be going over. He's going to be up top, but NIU does have vision as throws his ult. Nothing really doing, but he's going to get some nice poke on Xanakin.
I mean, that's just ridiculous, the amount of poke you can get from Ezreal here. I mean, that's half of the health bar of the Amumu before the fight even breaks out. Now, that's a nice stun, but the dash does mean that the ultimate won't land. Now, Final Boss of Ohio is going to be in a nice spot here to potentially get a pick, and NIU going to have to be careful of that one.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a 4-in-1 split. I think if you're Gotcha Sucker, honestly, you just walk away from lane, go help your team, because you're not going to be able to fight this Callista. But if you can get a nice trade mid lane, then this game's definitely doable. So they're going to jump on top of Nivea. Not much she could really do. They're going to get a nice dive, even with the turret and a nice stun.
To be able to get one back, though, possibly two. Its Beans is going to be in a tough spot here. Although Shark Chili also going to be taken kind of low. Extra loaded, going to have to be careful here. That's the ultimate. Nicely done. Actually dashing away, though, is Its Beans. But it will be the kill going over towards extra loaded. He'll get another one. Now the flash forward and the ulti. Shark Chili going to be taken low, but actually it's going to be turning that one around. And NIU's got to be careful because now Pee-wee is coming in, and he's the one that you got to be worried about. There's going to be Buff Pillsbury Boy taken very low. The Ren comes in early, but it doesn't matter because it's going to be Pee-wee just following up and just chasing him down. There's going to be Gotcha Sucker walking away, but not sure that he can really do a whole lot with this one. Teleport going to be coming through from Cougar. He's going to proc that on towards Xanakin, although it doesn't end up doing a whole lot. That's a lot of damage. Cougar just going to be teleporting to his death as B Chillin's going to be there in time. And actually, nicely done. Gotcha Sucker able to escape from that one. Callista gave up the chase, and so it is just the constant pressure here from the side of Miami with these aggressive carries in the Rengar and the Callista.
Yeah, I like the fight NIU chose. The problem is when they kept chasing the Ezreal, that's the thing. You just got to start to be wary, you know. Like, hey, this Callista exists, and she's just kind of in free-firing bot lane. Probably a little over-aggressed there, as NIU's team was not really ready to follow up with Zach, though I think he was trying to help out Extra Load and make sure that he doesn't get picked, which obviously at this point you really need Kaisan and Nivea alive, and you're going to have to pretty much sacrifice anybody you can to keep them from first, because they need to clear wave, first of all, especially Nivea, and also they're the only ones who can take down Callista and Rengar.
Yeah, I mean, it's really just you have to CC and use the crowd control to just, get anybody you can away from this. And Buff Pillsbury Boy going to be caught here. And that's unfortunate because it is just so much damage and so much attack speed. So the Callista can just dive over the wall and just grab people, but that's going to be a stun, so they're going to be able to grab a lot of damage on towards Pee-wee. Pee-wee will fall. It's Beans is going to also, he's actually going to be able to get out of that one, but that's going to be the stun on towards Final Boss of Ohio, but he'll just trade that back and immediately a ton of damage. Now this is going to be the wall, or over the wall, but the shield does come through from the Ivern. Doesn't really matter, as that's going to be a double kill over towards the Ezreal. Now the flash forward, the triple kill on towards the Ezreal, and that is going to be the ace. And with the Rift Herald there as well at 23 minutes, 34 to 17, about a 17,000 gold lead here at 27 minutes. Miami is going to take down NIU, and they're going to move to 6-1 on the season. NIU will drop to 2-5. And actually, I got the kill score wrong, because that's going to be another one over towards Miami. And that'll be 35 to 17 towards the Red Hawks.
Yeah, and that's the game. Well played by Miami. They're a very good team, obviously. NIU, I think, definitely showed some life in there, but unfortunately, just a lot of that early game, just you saw Miami really having so much dominance and able to really pressure the game and keep it going.
Yeah, I mean, you have to imagine that that Miami, especially with this kind of change up in their lineup, playing a little bit of off rolls, you have to imagine that they saw that NIU is a team that's in a bit of a rebuilding process, and so even across the board, still learning in some of those things, and they noticed that they took advantage of the top lane last game, and certainly that was their intent this game, was to try to take advantage of what they may have seen as the lane that they were able to grab the biggest lead in last game, and props to them, it worked. And so Miami will take this one 2-0, and so let's get you into this screen here. But yeah, Miami will take it 2-0, and that'll be the end of the match. As unfortunate for NIU, it is two quick stomps from Miami, unfortunately, and so NIU will be back against Ball State, another very, very tough opponent. On Wednesday, we'll have to see. Hopefully, what they were able to learn from this Miami game will be able to translate in towards that Ball State game, and they can potentially come out swinging and maybe hold their own a little bit against that very strong Ball State team as well. But that'll be at 7 o'clock on Wednesday evening. Tim will unfortunately not be able to make it, so he makes the motion that a single tear rolls down his cheek as well, and so I'll be bringing you through that one. So be sure to join the channel on Wednesday. That is going to be this week, the 22nd. It's going to be at 7 p.m. We'll have Miami versus NIU. This week will also be the first doubleheader week for NIU Overwatch. Unfortunately, they did drop this for the first time. They dropped a match on Tuesday, so they have moved to 3-1 on the season. For them, it's going to be on Tuesday. Let's see. Tuesday, they're going to have Ball State, so that's going to be a tough one. Sorry. No. I'm incorrect here. So it should be a doubleheader week, but because of a reschedule, it looks like they will not have a match this Tuesday. So the normally scheduled Tuesday match for this week, NIU does not have one. It's either a reschedule or this is their bye week in terms of that. But Thursday, that's going to be the 23rd. Our schedule that we've released says the 22nd. That has been changed just a bit. It is the 23rd. That is Thursday at 7 p.m. NIU will take on Ball State. So NIU, Overwatch, and League of Legends both taking on Ball State this week. League of Legends going to be first on Wednesday at 7 o'clock, and then on Thursday at 7 o'clock right here on the channel. Join us for NIU versus Ball State in Overwatch. Until then, and then on Saturday of this upcoming week, so NIU has, once again, 2 matches in League of Legends. So, like I said, Ball State on Wednesday, and then Saturday of this upcoming week is going to be NIU versus Northern Kentucky, so that should be a good one. Be sure to join us at, I have it wrong again. This one's been rescheduled, so it's not going to be a week from today. So, here you go. If you're marking your calendars, Wednesday, 7 o'clock, NIU League of Legends versus Ball State. Thursday, 7 o'clock, NIU Overwatch versus Ball State. And Friday, that's going to be Friday, not Saturday, but Friday at 7 o'clock Central Time, is going to be NIU versus Northern Kentucky in League of Legends. So mark your calendars for those days. We will not have a match on Saturday of up this week upcoming. That's the one for that will be on Friday, and there will not be an NIU Overwatch match on Tuesday. So just make sure you're marking your calendars that there have been the schedule is going to look a little wonky this week, and then we'll get back towards that Tuesday, Wednesday, Saturday type of schedule that we've been going through all semesters. So keep that marked on your calendars. Until then, I've been Connor Vagel. Tim, any last words before we sign off?
Hey, it's a tough loss, but I think we'll be able to bounce back. We bounced back from the first 2 weeks. I'm excited to see. Well, I won't get to announce it, but I'm going to watch Ball State, and then I'm excited to see us on Friday, which I will be at. We'll bring it back. Keep
Absolutely.
watching.
Yeah, absolutely. Stick with us, and like I said, this is a team that is a very young. All the players on the team. This is their first time in an esports collegiate competition this year, so still learning. But this is a team that we've seen a lot of potential in, and excited to see them grow. So stick with us as we do so. There may be some some real powerhouses. I mean, the conference, as we've said, across the board, the Esports Collegiate Conference is very, very strong. Like top 16 teams in all the games across the board. So there will be some times when we have tough games, and so learning from those things is what we want to see. And so hopefully when we come back on Wednesday, we'll have a little bit of a learning experience having gone through this match. So until then, I've been Connor Vagel. I have been joined by Tim Bungle Bill Schrammick, and I'll be back on Wednesday. Tim will be back on Saturday. Until then, have a great week, and we'll see you soon, guys. Good night.